Captured Hearts, The Kidnapping of the Wealthy Wife. Introduction, The Rich Man's Wife Kidnapping. In a world filled with both ordinary and extraordinary stories, there unfolds a tale of love, bravery, and suspense. This is the story of Mr. Johnson, a wealthy man who seemed to have it all, and his beloved wife, Mrs. Johnson. Their life was picturesque, nestled in a grand house with lush gardens and a seemingly unbreakable bond. But as fate would have it, their tranquil existence was about to be shattered by a series of events that would test their strength, determination, and the power of their love. Chapter by chapter, we delve into the twists and turns of this gripping narrative, as mysterious strangers descend upon their town, weaving a web of deceit and intrigue. In a shocking turn of events, Mrs. Johnson is abducted, leaving Mr. Johnson in a state of panic and despair. As he grapples with the sudden void in his life, a ransom note arrives, revealing the sinister intentions of the criminals behind this heart-wrenching act. Faced with a choice between submitting to the demands of the criminals or taking matters into his own hands, Mr. Johnson embarks on a perilous journey. With the support of loyal friends and an unyielding determination, he dives into the underworld, following a trail of clues that lead him to unexpected places. Along the way, he uncovers hidden truths about his wife's captors, and about his own resilience in the face of adversity. As the story unfolds, we witness Mr. Johnson's transformation from a wealthy businessman to a fearless fighter, fueled by his love for his wife and a burning desire to see her safe once more. The narrative takes us through the highs and lows of his mission, from clever strategies to dangerous confrontations, all building up to a climactic showdown where the boundaries of love and bravery are pushed to their limits. Through these pages, we not only witness the harrowing events that unfold but also explore the depths of human emotion, and the unwavering spirit that can emerge when faced with the unthinkable. Join us on this journey as we follow the story of the rich man's wife kidnapping, a tale that reminds us that even in the darkest of times, love has the power to illuminate the path to redemption and triumph.
Chapter 1: A Happy Life. In the opening chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, The Kidnapping of the Wealthy Man's Wife, titled A Happy Life, we are introduced to the tranquil and contented life of Mr. Johnson and his wife. This chapter sets the initial tone of normalcy and happiness before the events take a dramatic turn. Mr. Johnson is portrayed as a successful businessman who enjoys the comforts of wealth and a loving relationship with his wife. Their life is characterized by a harmonious routine, filled with shared moments of joy, leisure, and companionship. This chapter allows readers to glimpse into their idyllic existence, painting a picture of marital happiness and financial prosperity. As readers immerse themselves in the description of this seemingly perfect life, they are unaware of the impending disruption that will shatter their peace. The contrast between the happiness of this chapter and the challenges that lie ahead creates a sense of anticipation and intrigue, compelling the reader to continue to uncover the mysteries that unfold in the subsequent chapters.
Chapter 2: Mysterious Strangers. In the second chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, The Kidnapping of the Wealthy Man's Wife, titled Mysterious Strangers, the narrative takes a sharp turn as unknown and enigmatic figures enter the scene. This chapter introduces an element of suspense and intrigue, setting the stage for the main conflict of the story. As the sun sets and casts an eerie shadow, a group of mysterious strangers arrives in town. Their appearance is unsettling, and their intentions remain hidden. Mr. Johnson and his wife briefly cross paths with these strangers, and a sense of unease begins to permeate the atmosphere. The strangers' actions and expressions suggest that they are not ordinary travelers, and their presence foreshadows the impending turmoil. The chapter leaves readers with questions about the strangers' identity, motives, and their connection to the Johnsons. It creates a sense of foreboding and curiosity, prompting readers to delve deeper into the unfolding mystery. The juxtaposition of the previously happy life with the arrival of these enigmatic individuals adds tension and mystery to the story, leaving readers eager to uncover the secrets that are slowly unraveling.
Chapter 3: A Sudden Disappearance. In the third chapter of the story Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled A Sudden Disappearance, the plot takes a dramatic twist as a sudden and shocking event unfolds. In this chapter, the news of Mrs. Johnson's sudden disappearance sends shockwaves through the story, altering its course entirely. As the sun begins to set and Mrs. Johnson takes her evening walk, a horrifying incident occurs. She is abducted by a group of criminals. Mr. Johnson, upon learning of this disturbing event, is thrown into a state of panic and shock. He embarks on a frantic search for his wife, but initially has no leads regarding her whereabouts or the reason behind her abduction. This chapter paints a vivid picture of Mr. Johnson's shock and distress. His fear and the urgency to take swift action to save his wife propel him toward further investigation and search efforts. The sudden disappearance of his wife leaves him grasping for answers, and he resolves to gather more information about the circumstances surrounding her vanishing. A Sudden Disappearance is a chapter that evokes both terror and astonishment from the reader, propelling the story toward more captivating and suspenseful stages. It sets the stage for Mr. Johnson's determination to uncover the reasons behind his wife's sudden abduction and introduces the element of danger that will propel the narrative forward.
Chapter 4: The Ransom Note. In the fourth chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled The Ransom Note, the plot takes another unexpected turn with the introduction of a crucial element, a ransom note. This chapter adds a layer of complexity to the story as the criminal's demands become clear. Mr. Johnson's distress deepens as he receives a chilling ransom note, outlining the demands of the kidnappers for his wife's safe return. The note provides specific details about the ransom amount and instructions for the payment process. The gravity of the situation becomes even more pronounced as Mr. Johnson grapples with the realization that he is dealing with organized criminals who are set on obtaining a significant sum of money in exchange for his wife's release. The chapter sheds light on Mr. Johnson's internal turmoil as he faces a difficult choice. He must decide whether to comply with the demands of the kidnappers, risking his financial security, or take a perilous path to rescue his wife through alternative means. This internal conflict showcases the emotional and psychological strain he is under, highlighting the complexities of his character. The ransom note is a pivotal chapter that heightens the tension and suspense in the story. It propels Mr. Johnson into a dilemma that challenges his values, priorities, and the depth of his commitment to his wife. The introduction of the ransom note also underlines the calculated nature of the criminal's actions and sets the stage for a high-stakes negotiation or confrontation that will shape the subsequent events in the narrative.
Chapter 5, Mr. Johnson's Decision. In the 5th chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled, Mr. Johnson's Decision, the narrative delves deep into the internal struggle of the protagonist as he faces a critical crossroads. This chapter marks a pivotal moment in the story, as Mr. Johnson must make a life-altering decision that will shape the course of events. Upon receiving the ransom note and absorbing its implications, Mr. Johnson is thrust into a dilemma that demands a swift and decisive response. This chapter captures his emotional turmoil, as he grapples with the gravity of the situation and the potential consequences of his actions. He consults with his friends, advisors, and loved ones, seeking guidance on the best course of action. The essence of this chapter lies in Mr. Johnson's contemplation and introspection. He weighs the pros and cons of both options before him, complying with the criminal's demands or taking a daring and risky path to rescue his wife without yielding to the extortion. His internal conflict is palpable, as he confronts his fears, vulnerabilities, and the strength of his love for his wife. Mr. Johnson's Decision is a chapter that humanizes the protagonist and underscores the complexity of his character. It explores themes of sacrifice, courage, and the lengths to which one would go for a loved one's safety. The chapter builds anticipation and curiosity as readers eagerly await the outcome of his decision, knowing that it will dictate the direction the story takes from this pivotal point onward.
Chapter 6, The Search Begins. In the 6th chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled, The Search Begins, the narrative shifts into an active phase as Mr. Johnson embarks on a determined quest to locate his missing wife. This chapter marks the initiation of his relentless search, laden with uncertainties and challenges. Armed with a resolve to bring his wife back, Mr. Johnson dives into an intensive search effort. This chapter introduces readers to the practical aspects of investigation and the strategies he employs to gather information. He leverages his network, engages with friends, advisors, and law enforcement, and meticulously examines any potential leads or clues. The urgency of Mr. Johnson's mission is underscored as he navigates through the city's labyrinthine streets, visits relevant locations, and interacts with various individuals who might possess crucial information. The chapter brings to life the dynamic process of piecing together the puzzle, portraying the protagonist's unwavering determination and emotional turmoil. The Search Begins is a chapter that emphasizes the protagonist's transition from internal conflict to external action. It illustrates the lengths to which he is willing to go to retrieve his wife and the challenges he must overcome along the way. This chapter introduces a sense of anticipation and unpredictability, as readers follow Mr. Johnson's steps in his mission to rescue his wife and uncover the truth behind her disappearance.
Chapter 7, A Dangerous Journey. In the 7th chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled, A Dangerous Journey, the narrative escalates to a higher level of suspense and danger. This chapter thrusts Mr. Johnson into a perilous adventure as he navigates through treacherous territory in pursuit of his wife. As Mr. Johnson's determination intensifies, he embarks on a journey that takes him to unfamiliar and hazardous places. This chapter paints a vivid picture of the risks he encounters, ranging from physical dangers to encounters with suspicious individuals. The atmosphere becomes tense, amplifying the sense of urgency and vulnerability that accompanies his search. Equipped with his resourcefulness and resolve, Mr. Johnson confronts not only external threats but also his own inner fears. This chapter delves into his psyche as he grapples with uncertainties, devises strategies to navigate danger, and summons the courage to face the unknown. The reader witnesses his transformation from a concerned husband to a determined and adaptable protagonist. A Dangerous Journey is a chapter that highlights the sacrifices and bravery Mr. Johnson demonstrates in his pursuit. It showcases the power of human resilience and the lengths individuals are willing to go to protect those they love. The chapter masterfully balances the adrenaline of suspense with the emotional journey of the character, making it a turning point that propels the narrative toward its climax.
Chapter 8, A Clever Plan. In the 8th chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled A Clever Plan, the narrative takes an intellectual turn as Mr. Johnson devises a strategic and inventive plan to navigate the complexities of his wife's abduction. This chapter showcases his ingenuity and determination in the face of adversity. Faced with the daunting challenge of rescuing his wife from the hands of criminals, Mr. Johnson's resourcefulness comes to the forefront. In this chapter, he carefully crafts a plan that accounts for every detail, leveraging his knowledge of business tactics, problem solving, and human behavior. This plan is his response to the intricate web of danger and uncertainty he's facing. As the chapter unfolds, readers are privy to the inner workings of Mr. Johnson's mind. They witness his ability to analyze situations, consider potential outcomes, and anticipate the moves of his adversaries. The meticulous planning, timing, and coordination involved in his strategy showcase his ability to adapt his business acumen to this high-stakes scenario. A Clever Plan is a chapter that emphasizes Mr. Johnson's transformation into an orchestrator of his own destiny. It underscores his evolution from a victim of circumstance to an empowered agent of change. The chapter blends elements of suspense with the satisfaction of watching a well-thought-out plan unfold, inviting readers to marvel at the protagonist's intellectual prowess and resilience.
Chapter 9, The Rescue. In the 9th chapter of the story Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled The Rescue, the narrative reaches a climactic point as Mr. Johnson's well-crafted plan is put into action. This chapter unfolds with heightened tension and a sense of urgency as the protagonist navigates the complexities of rescuing his beloved wife. With the pieces of his clever plan falling into place, Mr. Johnson's determination culminates in a daring and high-stakes mission to rescue his wife from the clutches of the criminals. This chapter showcases his unwavering resolve, courage, and adaptability as he confronts obstacles, unforeseen challenges, and unpredictable twists. As the rescue operation unfolds, readers are treated to a heart-pounding sequence of events. The chapter masterfully balances moments of intense action with poignant emotional moments, giving insight into the inner turmoil and strength of the characters involved. The urgency of the situation keeps readers on the edge of their seats, eager to see whether Mr. Johnson's efforts will lead to a successful reunion. The Rescue is a chapter that encapsulates the essence of the entire story: desperation, determination, and the power of love. It showcases Mr. Johnson's growth from a victim of circumstance to a hero who takes control of his fate. The chapter delivers a rollercoaster of emotions, culminating in a thrilling climax that propels the story toward its resolution, leaving readers with a heightened sense of anticipation for the final chapter.
Chapter 10: Reunion and Happiness. In the 10th and final chapter of the story, Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled Reunion and Happiness, the narrative reaches its conclusion with a powerful resolution that ties together the threads of the story. This chapter delivers a cathartic and emotionally resonant ending, offering closure and satisfaction to the reader. As Mr. Johnson's relentless efforts culminate in a successful rescue, the long-awaited reunion between him and his wife takes center stage. The emotions that course through this chapter are a mixture of relief, joy, and the profound happiness that comes from reuniting with a loved one after a period of anguish and uncertainty. The characters' emotions are vividly depicted, allowing the reader to share in their relief and delight. The tenderness of their interaction serves as a poignant reminder of the strength of their bond and the lengths they were willing to go to ensure each other's safety. This chapter captures the essence of love triumphing over adversity. Reunion and Happiness is a chapter that brings a sense of fulfillment and closure to the reader. It underscores the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity for love to conquer even the darkest of circumstances. As the story concludes on a note of triumph and emotional restoration, readers are left with a deep sense of satisfaction and a reminder of the enduring power of love and determination.
Epilogue: A lesson learned. In the epilogue of the story, Captured Hearts, the kidnapping of the wealthy man's wife, titled A Lesson Learned, the narrative takes a reflective turn as it offers insights and wisdom derived from the characters' experiences. This concluding chapter serves as a bridge between the story's resolution and the larger lessons that can be drawn from the events that transpired. As the dust settles and the characters move forward from the ordeal, the epilogue provides an opportunity for introspection. The lessons they've learned, the growth they've experienced, and the impact of their choices on their lives are all contemplated. The epilogue provides a platform to explore the deeper themes of the story, such as the value of love, the resilience of the human spirit, and the importance of determination. The epilogue might showcase how the characters have changed as a result of their trials, offering glimpses of their newfound strengths and perspectives. It could also highlight the enduring impact of their actions on their relationships, their values, and their outlook on life. Ultimately, the epilogue offers readers a broader lens through which to view the entire narrative and its implications. A Lesson Learned is a chapter that invites readers to reflect on their own lives and choices. It encourages introspection and prompts consideration of how the experiences of the characters can resonate with personal experiences. By tying up loose ends and offering a thoughtful commentary on the story's themes, the epilogue leaves readers with a sense of closure and a richer understanding of the story's messages.